Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Precious Metals Summit. And yeah, the day is slowly but surely ending, but we're still doing interviews and want to talk now to Darren Blasutti, the Executive Vice President, Corporate Capital Markets for Minera Alamos. Darren, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Minera Alamos, we spoke the last time, I think it was in Mainz Money Show last year. And now a lot of things have changed because you guys bought the Pan Mine, which we know well from Fiore with the Gold Rock project, but you still have the Copperstone project and you have the project in Mexico. So let's get started with the Pan Mine because you are now a producer.
Yeah, so we produced just about 3,100 ounces in October, which was a milestone for the company. I think it's a transformational deal. So not only do we buy the Pan Mine, which will generate about $15 million of free cash flow this quarter, it's going to operate till 2030, and it's going to generate a lot of free cash flow. And that's important because we're going to build the next three mines for the company. The first being Copperstone. If you remember last year, they announced the Sabre Gold acquisition. And so Copperstone was the mine that Darren Connigan and Kevin Small, our technical team, have been working on to get that ready. And the expectation, we sent out a press release last week to our investors saying that we expect in early Q1 of next year to be announcing that that project's going to go forward. It's about $36 million in capital, so call it $40 million. And the mine will generate over 50,000 ounces of gold at about $1,500 AISIN for the next 6 to 7 years.
That's beautiful.
That's based on the current resource. And of course, there was some inferred gold there, and the resources were done at $1,500, so at $4,000, clearly all of that resource is going to come in. So that'll be about an 8 or 9 year mine. And you know, it was a great acquisition by Doug and Darren and the team at the time, because not only is the underground mine permitted, but the open pit mine is sitting there with 450,000 ounces in historical resource that's almost a gram a ton.
Wow.
That can be ran on as a heap leach. So that will be the next phase for Copperstone. And in that time frame, as we build, it'll take about 10 months to build the mine to get it back up and running. So the good news is Copperstone is not a new mine. The mill facility is still there. All the mill equipment is being brought down from Quebec after being refurbished and is going to be installed. And the underground is in great shape. So it's going to take us about 10 months that we'll get into cash flow, and then we could start thinking about the open pit and permitting that.
Wow.
And then beyond that, we saw, as you know, probably Silver Tiger in Mexico finally got Mexico's first open pit mining permit. So the Cerro de Oro asset, which is in Zacatecas for us, just above Penasquito and Orla's project, we expect that we're going to get a permit in 2026, based on what we've been told. And if we get that in 2026, then we'll be building that mine out in 2027.
How much money would that cost?
So that's about $28 million. So the mine had already been stripped and it's brownfield. So what's interesting, normally like for Pan, when it started out in its history, it was a 4-to-1 strip ratio. So 4 tons of waste for 1 ton of ore. Cerro de Oro is 0.7 waste to 1 ton. So for every ton ore, you only have to move 0.7 tons of waste. So despite the fact that it's relatively low grade, it will produce about 58,000 ounces and only costs $28 million to put it in production.
That's fantastic. If I calculate that all together, plus the cash flow you get from Pan and the 135 million you got in the bought deal, that's all financed.
Yeah, so effectively, we've paid Equinox for Pan. They own a share position of us. And, you know, I'll be going to them with some institutional investors to try and buy that from them while the price is cheap. But more importantly, because we're going to put about $15 million of operating cash flow from Pan on this quarter, that will get our cash balance to $35 million next year. At the end of the year, it's only $36 million to build Copperstone. So you can just see how that's going to, and then copper, it's only 28 to build Cerro de Oro. So we don't need to have equity dilution to be able to build these mines.
That's what
I think that's where the old Minera Alamos was trying to just stay alive, waiting for permits. Now we've got a mine that operates. Now we've got mines we can build. And we're going to get to 150,000 ounces of production by 2028. And at AISIN of well less than $2,000 all in.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So if gold prices are where they are,
yeah,
you know, we're going to be a mid-tier gold producer. And so that's very exciting.
Absolutely. So what will then come with the Gold Rock project? Because when I was talking years ago to Fiore Gold, where this belonged to, like the Penn mine, we always said that's one of the jokers for the future. A little bit higher gold prices, and then let's see what happens. But I thought, I read that you want to bring that also in production, right?
Yeah. So the issue with Pan is it's 64 million, and we can bring Copperstone and Cerro de Oro in for 62 million. So I think we'd like to do the lower capital things first and then as we grow the balance sheet in 2028, then we can put it in. The other thing we can do that we couldn't do before at higher gold prices is we could take the first 2 layers of ore and actually truck them to Pan. So we're looking at ways without having to spend the 64 million to increase that. I said Pan's going to go to around 40,000 ounces next year. Well, if we can get some 10,000 ounces a year from Gold Rock without having to put the big capital out to build the leach pad and bring a new trucking procedure. So again, all of those are being looked at. But think about it this way. Pan's been operating for years and the guys know it. They got Copperstone last year. They've been able to do all the technical work on Copperstone, and then we're going to make an announcement in January, February, right? And they've had Cerro de Oro for a long time inside the company, 7-8 years. So they're very comfortable. They're still getting their hands around Gold Rock. And again, the capital is much higher. So I think more to come on that. But I think right now we can show our investors, which, I am one of them, that we can get to 150,000 ounces fully funded without equity dilution. And that's what we're focused on.
And at those gold prices, that would be fantastic. Because if we calculate the ASIC group-wide, what do you think there might be?
Okay, so I think at $65 oil, because you got open pits, I think you're well south of $2,000. $1,700, pick a number, $1,1700. If oil goes to $100, then I think you're probably pushing more $2,000.
Okay.
But my guess is, if oil is going back to 100, then maybe gold's at 5,000. Who knows?
That's exactly the point.
But our job is to ensure that when we're building these assets, that we can get the right margin out of them. And I think that's the other thing too. I think the two biggest margin assets are the Copperstone and Cerro de Oro, and Gold Rock will cost more, and it will be somewhat higher cost. Than the other two.
Yeah, but a great option for the future. In addition, of course.
And again, my guess is midway through next year, after we've had a few months with the feasibility and all the work, we're going to get more comfortable with it.
Okay, super. So you said you're an investor in the company. Let's say, what is management share in the company? Who are your other investors?
Okay, so as a result of the transaction that happened to buy Pan, there was an equity deal done for 135 million Canadian. I think a lot of probably retail investors were probably not happy with that. There was also a warrant at 70 cents, right? But in that, Jason, the chairman who got the deal done, bought $1.5 million worth of stock. Darren Connigan bought $1 million worth of stock. And last week I announced when I came in, a couple weeks ago, that I was buying $1 million worth of stock too at 40 cents. And so I think we're about 3%, give or take. I think one of the things that will happen as we move forward is we've got 1.1 billion shares outstanding. We're going to have to roll that stock back at some point because we want to be off the venture and onto the TSX big board, and because that allows us to get on a U.S. stock exchange as well. So we're really focused on doing the blocking and tackling that's needed to be done. As I said, I think we want to get rid of the Equinox overhang, get those shares into institutional hands or retail hands. And we want to make sure that we've got all the money that we need to build these assets out, because it's the future. There's not many companies that can go from zero in, September 30th to 40,000 ounces in 2026, going to 150,000 ounces in 2028.
Yeah, no, that's really fast track, I would say.
Yeah, so well, it helps that all of them are brownfield mines.
Yeah, absolutely. Super. Yeah, well then, good luck with everything. Thank you very much. That sounds like a good game plan, and we look forward to Mexico. Keep us posted, please, because it looks like the things are opening really up there.
Yeah, it's getting exciting.
And as said, Gold Rock is the golden option.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Super. Thank you very much,
Thank
Darren.
you.
All the best. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Darren Blasutti, the Executive Vice President, Corporate Market Development of Minera Alamos. And you heard it, the company changed significantly since the last time we spoke. Now they are in production, of course, with the Pan Mine. Then the Copperstone comes in addition, and also Mexico. And then the future is gold rock, definitely. And I think this is really amazing. Within approximately 2 years, they really go to 140, 150,000 ounces production at decent costs between $1,600 and $1,700 approximately. And I think with those gold prices today, probably in 2 years, we are well above the 5,000, maybe 6,000, which was my prediction already. So that looks really terrific. Check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Zurich, from the Precious Metal Summit.